get into the shadow material. And actually what I found over the years, you get down to an area and you free yourself, and then, my God, everything is wonderful. You see more light, you see more beauty, you're more intuitive, you walk more on air. It's just wonderful when you resolve some of those things. And then, much to my disappointment, I'd find myself being pulled back, and I found there's another level. And I don't know if I'm right about this, but I think it's right for me that it seems like every time you clear up one of these things, you've opened the door to a deeper one, and the deeper you go, the more profound they are and the harder they are. And I finally reached the point where I decided that pain is a great teacher, and not to run away from pain. And that's hard, but I tell you, there's someone that deals with this beautifully in his book, Eckhart Tolle, in his book, The Power of Now, and he describes how we create a pain body, but he also describes more clearly than anything I've read in the literature. Now, that doesn't mean much because I don't read a whole lot, but I try to keep up with the better books. And he has written the best that I know of about how to resolve the pain body. He says you just have to stay with it. Be willing to be with it. You're not trying to figure it out. You're not trying to think. Just be still and be with it, and eventually it will open up. And when it does, you'll see the source of it, and then you're in control again, because then you can decide. When you see where it comes from, usually that's an enormous release, and you can make the decision to be free of it. So the question that you asked, it sounds like, it seems to me what you need an enormous resolve to keep working deeper and deeper until these things open up. Because I can tell you, when they do, you will feel so much better. You'll feel so much better. It's just a marvelous freeing thing.
If only psychedelic therapy were legal, such that an experienced guide can help with such a thing. If only
I'd like to. This is something that always comes up. Is how can I get hold of? There is another tool which is, I believe, as good and as capable of resolving these things as psychedelics, and that is hypnosis. Hypnotherapy can do for you in opening up these doors just as well as the psychedelics, and it's not that it's better, but it is very, very good. Again, just as you would be very careful in choosing a helper or a babysitter or a guide or a guru when it comes to psychedelics, you have to be careful to choose your hypnotherapist. There are good ones and there are lousy ones. But if you think about what hypnosis is doing, it's the same thing. It's opening those doors. You sound without, unfortunately, in a gathering like this, we can't go into details with one person, but you sound as if you're being haunted by something that simply won't leave you alone. And that's a way your psyche has of saying, pay attention, this has to be resolved. Otherwise, it wouldn't keep doing this. And so you have to pay attention and start working on it. But you can't, I really don't know if the average non-saint can do it by himself. I think you really do need someone else. It doesn't have to be a professional, but it has to be somebody who's lived and who has a great deal of wisdom from having gone through very, very difficult places. Yeah.
Myron, can you maybe say a few words about the relationship for you between yoga and psychedelics?
Relationship with what?
Yoga.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had much relationship with yoga, but the thing that I do highly recommend, and what's meant a great deal for me, let me say this. Psychedelics are pretty easily abused. And, you know, we have a Friday night dinner situation down in Southern California. And I've been going there for a few years, meeting a lot of people from all walks of life. And I think a lot of these people are abusing it. And I think I personally abused it for many years because this is what I call abuse. You have an experience, in fact, it's a pretty good experience, and you're feeling great, you're on top, life's going well. And actually, you learn some things that you really ought to do. You know, it really shows you, you know, that some of the things you're doing haven't been helping you any. In fact, it may be distancing you from your partner and God knows what. So let's see. You have to excuse me because, you know, I'm going to be 84 in 2 more months. And sometimes my memory sometimes my memory just goes like that.
The clinical term for this in current medicine is JOA, if anyone's interested in the diagnosis. It's known as juvenile onset Alzheimer's.
I'm there.
It's
Anyhow,
known as senior moments, and
to
we all
say.
have them.
You were speaking about your own abuse of LSD.
Yes. And the way that I was abusing it, actually, we spent, my wife Jean and I spent a dozen or more years working with different substances to see how other people responded. And we always took it ourselves. And we were doing this on the average of every 2 weeks or so. And I say we did this for about 10